And now let's practice the basic forms with an opponent. Honte uchi. Strike the uchi's face from both sides. The uchi is the one holding the tachi or sword. When the shi, the one with the jaw, strikes, the uchi steps back starting with his left foot to maintain his distance with the shi. On the command yame or stop, the uchi steps back and raises the tachi to meet the jaw. Nihonme, gyakute uchi. Strike the uchi's temple from the left and right as in honte uchi. The uchi steps back with his right foot when the strike comes from the right, and with his left when the strike comes from the left. He holds his tachi up to receive the jaw. Sanbonme, hikiotoshi uchi. The uchi is holding the tachi in the chudan position. Strike down the tachi from the left and right. The shi takes one step forward to strike down the tachi and points the jaw at the tachi's face to indicate zanshin. Yonhonme, kaeshizuki. This is used mainly to thrust at the solar plexus. Twist your hips round and thrust using the front and rear ends of the jaw alternately. When turning the jaw, your front hand should be level with your opponent's solar plexus. Gohonme, gyakutezuki. Hold the jaw using a reverse grip and thrust at your opponent's solar plexus. Follow with a right honte uchi strike to his face. Make sure to follow the thrust immediately with the strike. The uchi holds his tachi in the hidari jodan position. On receiving the thrust, he takes a big step back, first with his left then right, and raises his tachi to meet the jaw. Ropponme, makiotoshi. As soon as you block your opponent's tachi, sweep it aside with a circular motion and attack his face. Once the tachi has been swept aside, the uchi steps back with his right foot to maintain his distance from the shi. Nanahonme, kuritsuke. Evade the uchi's attack and with an upward sweep using the front end of the jaw, catch the handle of the tachi and push the uchi's hands and tachi down towards his stomach. The uchi receives the jaw in the center of his body. Watch the shi's action as he enters into kuritsuke. Hachihonme, kurihanashi. Evade the uchi's attack by moving to the left, and with an upward sweep using the front end of the jaw, catch the handle of the tachi and push the tachi up over the uchi's head and away to the rear. After performing kurihanashi, the shi changes the right hand to a honte grip, takes a half step to the right, and brings his feet together to take the tsune no kamae. Notice the position of the shi's body after performing the kurihanashi. Kyuhonme, tai atari. Evade the uchi's attack by moving to the left. Catch the handle of the tachi with an upward sweep using the front end of the jaw and push the uchi back. Once his tachi is swept up, the uchi draws his right foot back towards his left. When he's pushed back, he takes 4 small steps to the rear, starting with his left foot, and assumes the hasso no kamae. Juppon-me, tsuki-hazushi uchi. Draw back and receive the uchi's thrust with the jaw, and immediately strike down the tachi. The uchi attempts another thrust in the solar plexus from the chudan position. The shi turns his body halfway to the left and deflects the thrust to his solar plexus by sweeping the tachi upwards. Immediately after striking down the tachi, the shi uses the front end of the jaw to attack the uchi's face. Juippon-me, doubarai uchi. The uchi attempts to strike your torso. Take 1 step back, receive his tachi with your jaw and strike it down. Notice how the shi receives the tachi. Both arms are extended and the hands are about a shoulder's width apart. The front end of the jaw points diagonally down. The uchi takes 1 step back with his right foot, then the left, and raises his tachi to chudan to meet the jaw. Junihon-me, tai hazushi uchi. The shi steps back to avoid the uchi's attack and strikes the tachi down to the right. When striking the tachi down, the shi steps back with the left foot, then right, to deal a powerful blow. The uchi lowers his tachi and the shi assumes the tsune no kamae. They walk towards each other to exchange weapons. After receiving the tachi, the former shi steps aside to the left and walks to the starting position. The new shi takes the tsune no kamae and walks straight forward. And now let's look at the main points of the 12 kata, the basic JODO forms. Ippon-me, tsukizue. Evade the uchi's attack to the center of your head and strike his left forearm. As he retreats to take jodan no kamae, take advantage of his lapse of attention to follow with a honte uchi to his forearm. Notice the position of the shi's body. The right hand is level with the right hip, while the left hand grips the jaw at a point 1/4 length from the tip. The right knee is straightened and the left knee slightly bent. The front end of the jaw is placed on the floor. And now watch how the shi strikes the uchi's forearm. He swings the front end of the jaw down from the right in a large circular path to strike the uchi's left forearm. Let's take another look at the position of the shi's body and how he strikes the uchi's forearm. Nihon-me, suigetsu. Meet the uchi's attack to the center of your head by moving diagonally to the right to thrust at his solar plexus. Follow with a hiki otoshi to strike down his tachi. When thrusting the jaw into the uchi's solar plexus, turn your body slightly to the left and place your left hand lightly on your hip. Thrust at the solar plexus accurately. Let's take another look at 2本目水月. Three 本目ひっさげ. Move back to evade the uchi's attack to the center of your head and immediately follow with a kuritsuke technique, a thrust to the uchi's solar plexus, and a hiki otoshi strike to his face. The shi takes the correct left hiki otoshi stance, from which he performs the kuritsuke technique to evade the uchi's attack. The shi's elbows are slightly bent as he holds the jaw above his head. Let's take another look at the main points of 3本目ひっさげ. Make sure to perform the kuritsuke, the thrust to the solar plexus, and the hiki otoshi in one continuous action. Four 本目斜面. Evade an attack to the center of your head and strike the uchi's temple with a gyakute uchi followed by a kaeshizuki. The shi holds the front end of the jaw in a reverse grip. Moving forward, he slides his right hand to a point 1/4 length from the tip of the jaw and strikes the uchi's left temple. Observe the movement of the feet. When striking the uchi's temple, both elbows should be extended, with the right hand holding the jaw at a point 1/4 length from the tip. Let's take another look at 4本目斜面. Five 本目左官. Move back and deflect the uchi's thrust to your solar plexus. Immediately follow by striking down the tachi and perform hiki otoshi uchi. The shi turns his body halfway to the side and raises the jaw in an upward sweep. Notice the position of the fists as he turns. Strike the uchi as soon as he takes up a stance. Let's review that action. Six 本目物見. Evade the uchi's attack to the center of your head and strike the uchi's right forearm using left honke uchi. Take advantage of his break in concentration to attack with kaeshizuki. The shi begins to move as soon as he senses the uchi's attack. Pay close attention to his timing and body movement. Let's review this action. After thrusting the uchi's solar plexus, the shi indicates zanshin. Seven 本目霞. Meet an attack to the center of your head with a tai atari, followed by kuritsuke. As the uchi draws back, take advantage of his break in concentration to thrust his solar plexus and perform hiki otoshi. This is the kasumi posture. Make sure that the back of your right hand lightly touches your forehead. This is the correct posture upon completing gyakute uchi. Let's take another look at 7 honme kasumi. Take special notice of the way the shi enters into kuritsuke. Hachi honme tachi otoshi. The uchi is holding the tachi in chudan. When you sense a break in his concentration, move your body to one side and strike at his head. Immediately follow with kuritsuke. As he retreats, execute kaeshizuki and follow with hiki otoshi. The uchi blocks the shi's gyakute uchi by stepping to the left and raises his tachi above his head to receive the jaw. He receives the jaw at the center of the tachi. As the uchi sweeps the tachi around his head to cut to the side of the shi's neck, the shi begins kuritsuke. The front end of the jaw is aimed at the uchi's eyes. Keeping in mind the main points, let's take another look at tachi otoshi. KIHON rai uchi. As soon as the uchi attempts a cut to your upper arm, thrust him in the solar plexus using gyakute-zuki. Then move to the left and thrust into his side. The main point is to thrust at the uchi before he attacks. The thrusts are made to the solar plexus and side. Let's review the technique. Honme seigan. As the uchi approaches, forestall his threat by thrusting at his solar plexus. Then as he retreats, thrust at his side and follow with a hit to his solar plexus. Watch how the shi seizes the initiative. The moment the uchi places his hand on the tsuka, the shi threatens the uchi's face and strikes him in the solar plexus and forearm. He then thrusts at the uchi's left side with a gyakute-zuki. Let's take another look at seigan. Honme midare dome. Use gyakute-uchi to strike at the tachi held in seigan no kamae. As the uchi brings the tachi over his head and cuts at the center of your head, throw the tachi down using maki otoshi. Perform tai atari and follow with hiki otoshi. Let's take a close look at the main points of midare dome. Strike the uchi in the face with an accurate gyakute-uchi. The shi strikes the tachi down and to the side. He then threatens the tachi's face. Let's review 11本目乱れ止め. (12) Ran'ai. This incorporates many of the techniques used in the previous kata. Let's look at how the shi performs kuritsuke. Both arms are extended and the hips are lowered slightly. The uchi's tachi is manipulated and pressed down towards the center of his body. Notice how the shi avoids the tachi. His body is turned halfway to the side, feet are together, arms straight, and the point of the jaw is aimed at the uchi's eyes. Let's take a look at Ran'ai from a different angle. Let's look again at the shi's correct backward movement and kuritsuke against the uchi's attack. We've looked at the major points of the 12 basic forms, how to take the correct distance, and the time interval between the techniques. Please try to master these points through repeated practice. To learn JODO, one has to master the fundamental techniques and polish them through daily training. As is understood by the phrase KIHON, we want to practice JODO with serious intent.